Hello everybody, welcome back. Take a moment to find your comfortable seat for our starting meditation. So as always, loosen something in your shoulders, in your neck, maybe moving your shoulders up and back and up and forward. Maybe moving one shoulder at a time, backwards and forward. And if you're in a playful mood today, you can try to move your shoulders in the opposite direction. So right shoulder moves in circular motion back and the left shoulder moves forward. And then you try to combine the movements. So left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. So we'll see if it works and what it does to your sensations and your focus. And we stop, we shake everything and we change the direction. So for the sake of coordination and for the sake of a greater focus, we will start moving the left shoulder backwards and the right shoulder forward. So feel the movement in your shoulder joint. And then we will combine the movement. So the left shoulder will continue moving backwards, and at the same time, your right shoulder, you rotate in the shoulder joint forward. And then you shake everything. And once again, adjusting something that you need to adjust, maybe sitting more fully on your sitting bones, so you can move the booty away from the sitting bones, so you can really feel grounded on the floor, and you will lift your chest a little bit, relax the shoulders back, feeling the slight lift in the sternum and keeping your chest parallel to the floor. You're gonna take a couple of deep breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. This is our way to connect to our breath, to anchor our attention towards the breath. And if you add visualization, inhaling energy, fresh air, sun, light, and exhaling tiredness, irritation, impatience, it always helps just a bit more to allow ourselves to settle in this balance, in the center of our being. And after 3 breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, you're gonna settle in our natural way of breathing. So allowing your breath for a few rounds to be just the way it is. So taking a few more rounds of this normal, natural breath, typical to you. Allowing your shoulders to relax more, allowing your focus to remain with your breath. And in a moment we continue with our pranayama exercise, which is meant to build on all the skills that we were developing over the past few sessions. And today we're going to focus on building and reinforcing our ability to have a positive outlook on life, expecting the best in any circumstances in life, even if those circumstances can be very hard and very emotionally charged. We can still have this ability to look beyond the overwhelming impact of the events or moments and have this positive expectation. So expecting the best in any circumstances, that would help us to also take those circumstances with light or more light, however difficult it might seem. And we're going to build the skill by further learning how to make ourselves more relaxed in the situation of discomfort or in a situation of emotional distress. And one of the tools we use is a pranayama exercise, which is uses 1:2 ratio of breathing. So when we inhale for a certain number of counts, let's say 4 counts, and we exhale for a double number of counts. What this type of pranayama does is it calms your body, and as your body calms down, your brain also relaxes. And when the brain is relaxing, it is capable of letting go of negative beliefs, threats, fears, agitation and anxiety. So you can return to the stable ground of your center where there is strength, hope and positive outlook in life. So we're gonna practice this pranayama by first exhaling together, and then we start inhaling for 4 counts, taking a little pause at the top, and then exhaling for 8 counts. I'm not gonna do the counts for you, so stick to your own counts. And if after 1 or 2 rounds you feel that you have to struggle with your breath, holding 4 to 8 counts, switch to a lower count, switch to 3 to 6, or even 2 to 4, if this is what your body is capable of doing right now. It doesn't really matter. As long as you are able to have this control over your breath and be relaxed as you do this pranayama. And if it helps, if your mind starts wandering from the counting, you can also use the mantra of Ham Sa. So you inhale and you chant silently in your head Ham as you inhale, and as you let go of your breath, you chant the sound of Sa mentally in your mind. That helps to center yourself even more into this relaxation through the breath. I will be silent for a few minutes, so keep on breathing, inhaling, slowly and fully filling up your lungs completely, having a little pause at the top of your inhale and exhaling for double amount of counts, whatever the number is for you. We're gonna complete the last 2 full rounds of this 1:2 ratio pranayama exercise. So go ahead and complete the last 2 rounds. And when you complete your second last round, allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. And allow your intention for this practice arise in your mind. It can be the same intention you said previously, or it can be new intention, formulated in the present tense. should be something that you want to manifest more in your life. And you can formulate it in positive, simple words. I'm healthy, I'm relaxed. Something of the kind. And then allow your eyes to open. And we're gonna shake our legs. So shake your legs and we're gonna move into windshield wipers immediately. So placing the hands, fingers facing towards your body. We're gonna allow our knees to drop left and right. And today's practice is gonna be in a way challenging in order for us to practice all the skills that we built over time. And you remember we practiced our ability to observe our sensations, listen to our body, but also to our emotions, and even to our mind when we observe our thoughts. And then we not only allow these emotions, thoughts and sensations arise in our body, but we also carefully watch them without the judgment. So if you notice something is painful, we don't blame ourselves, we are not flexible, we are not exercising regularly or this and that. We just notice that there is a discomfort in one place and we gently and kindly breathe into these places, accepting the discomfort as it is. And then finally we spoke about acting wisely on basis of information we receive from our body and from our mind. And then the discipline. And today we're going to integrate everything in this practice in order to see how we can actually handle some physically challenging situation, knowing that we can simply observe, watch and let go, and sometimes not even act. So shake your legs again. We're going to loosen our hips a bit more, so bringing the right knee closer to the chest. We're going to grab the right foot and placing the right foot maybe inside of your left elbow. We're going to cradle our leg. So spend some time feeling what is happening in your hip. And make some circular motion with your right knee. Really bringing your right shin closer to the chest. Make sure that there is no painful sensation in your knee or on the hip. Just explore where there is a tightness or restriction you feel in your movement. And if you would like to take it a bit deeper, you can insert the right hand inside of the right leg, and then the left hand follows, and then you have both hands in front and you bring this right shin a bit closer towards the chest, maybe moving the pelvis backwards and forwards. So once again making this a dynamic movement that allows you to observe what is happening there in your right hip and your right glute. And one more sign of affection, maybe kissing your toes, kissing your knee. And then we gently bring this right ankle just above the left knee. And we're gonna place the hands behind us on the fingertips, and we're gonna bend the left leg, and we're gonna slide our buttocks very close to our left heel. So we open up the chest and we feel what is happening in our right hip in this position. So it's a kind of a variation of the pigeon or swan pose that we practice in a different plane. Probably you recognize the shape. And it works on opening the right hip and right glute. And this is one first variation of the pose. We're gonna move further. And remember, it's up to you to decide. Do you want to move further? What stops you from moving further? Is it that you're afraid that you can't take it? Or you move further because you are competitive? Just check it out. What happens in your head when you move towards the next stage? So our next stage is going to be that we're going to move on the fingertips so that we can start bringing our chest very close to our hips. And for many of us, maybe the wise decision is just to stay here, because your hip is already working hard and the glute is working hard on opening up. And if it feels okay, we're gonna move just a bit more further. So we lift our butt and we start lifting to sit on our toes, supporting ourselves for the balance on the floor with the fingertips, propping us up. And just relax here. I feel your toes, it's a toe stretch as well. And maybe this is a pose where we're gonna all stay. But there is also a final expression of this pose. This is a true balance when we lift our hands off the ground. And just ask yourself, what happens if you fall? You fall on your butt. That's what is gonna happen. There is not gonna be anything more greater than this, so it's a good reason just to laugh and to have an experience of falling on something soft. So stay here, or very controlled. You're gonna bring your hands in front of the chest. And if you fall, just fall and laugh and shake everything. So notice what is happening in your head. In my head, nothing was happening. I was just concentrating on keeping the balance and feeling where my body allowed me to lift off the hands off the ground. So this is what I was busy with. I was fully in the present moment, and I hope you experience something like this as well in whatever stage you were. So we're gonna relax the left hip a little bit more, so bending the left knee towards the chest and cradling your left foot into the right elbow. You can also hold your left foot. Any position will do. And continue. Or go a bit deeper. So if you go deeper, you thread your left arm inside and you bring the left shin a bit closer to the chest. And you go up and back, bringing the left knee more in, more out. So feeling what is happening in your left buttock, glute. And finally, you carefully place your left ankle just above your right knee. So it's not on your right knee joint, it's just above on the soft spot. And the left foot is outside of the right leg. And remember, we've done this pose on the right side, so you know what's coming. At every stage, it's you to decide where you go. So we're gonna bend the right knee and slide our buttocks very close to the right heel. So we stay here for a few breaths, allowing our left hip to maybe relax a little bit. We don't need to push our body into doing something that it's not prepared for. So allow your also mind to relax. There is nothing you need to do. We just feeling the flow, and if it feels alright to go into the next stage, we're gonna go. Nothing needs to be pushed. And then if you're up to this little experiment with the balance, we're gonna start working on the fingertips so we can roll to sit on our toes. And then we support ourselves on the fingertips and we stay here. And first we stabilize ourselves, so we feel our body, we feel how we breathe, we calm ourselves down. And we decide whether we want to try to go into balance. And if you go into the balance, you make sure that we are stable. And then we bring the hands in front of the chest. And if you fall, we just fall. Nothing happens. And when you've done your rounds of trying, just relax everything and shake your legs, and we're gonna go again into windshield wipers. And we continue with our little challenges for the balance and for concentration in that plane. So you'll get another chance to practice the balance in this plane. So you once again bring the right knee in, and we're gonna this time bring the right hand under, and we bring the left hand underneath the right ankle. So we are kind of holding the right ankle with our left leg, left hand, and then we try to bring this right calf as high up the shoulder as possible. So for some of us, maybe we put it not really on the shoulder but on the forearm, just like this, which is fine. And just move it around a little bit. So try to move your weight forward, so you're not rolling backwards as in previous loosening exercise. So you're really falling forwards. Yeah. And the balance we're gonna go into again requires some strength, but also concentration and trust. So if you don't have a balance, so be it. At least your body learned where the borders are. So we're gonna once again try to bring the right leg as high up the forearm or the shoulder as possible. And then we hook the right leg over the right arm, and our extended leg is very active. So bring your left toes towards the face, and then we release the left hand and place it next to the left hip and engage our abdominal muscles. So lean forward. So feel that you can lift your butt a little bit, just your butt in this position. Can you lift your butt? Okay. I hope everybody can, or at least feels the movement, that when you engage your abdominals you have a sense of lifting. And maybe next time you can lift off the entire left leg, so your butt is floating off the ground, and you look forward, you try to smile, and then releasing. You can drop your butt and shake everything. So how was it for you? Challenging thoughts? And again, it's just something that you learn your body to recognize, this balance, this new freedom in your body, day by day, that nothing needs to be achieved at once. So we do this experiment on the other side. So this time bringing the left leg up, the left forearm, left shoulder, and you can also for a few times just feel the relaxation in the hips, so moving backwards and forwards. And when you're ready, I will let you find the moment where you're ready to move into the full expression of the pose or one of the variations. So clenching the left leg over the left shoulder or left forearm, we place the right hand next to the right hip and we move our torso forward. So you can't do this pose if you are sitting backwards. So you need to move your weight forward and you engage your right leg. Yeah. And then maybe first you lift your butt off the ground. So just your butt, the right heel stays on the floor. You engage your abdominals. You need your abdominal, your six-pack to work hard. And when you're ready, we're gonna lift everything. Lift and look forward. And when you're ready, you land softly on the ground. And you give yourself a big applause for trying. Even if you haven't achieved the lift off, it doesn't really matter. So do a couple of windshield wipers, releasing the quadriceps if they were engaged. At least my quadriceps were working really hard to help me stay in balance. And then we're gonna move to our next pose. So we're gonna move on all fours first. So your knees are under your hips and hands are under the shoulders. And we're gonna start by doing a couple of cat and cow stretches here. So exhaling, round in the back, cat, and inhaling, dropping your spine, looking up, cow, and continue with your breath. So feel that you can start making the movement from your pelvis, from your hips, and as you go on with the cat and cows, you can make the movement a little bit bigger. So really pressing your spine up as you exhale, and you drop everything, lifting the chest up. And the inhale. I'm doing more rounds of this, loosening the spine. And then we stop in the neutral position, and from here we're gonna go into the pigeon pose. So we're gonna bring the right knee behind the right hand, right wrist, and then we're gonna slide the back leg as far back as possible. So as you can see, there is a very sharp angle between my right hip and the right shin. You can stay here just moving your hips so that your hips are parallel to the ground. So you're not falling towards the right side, you're not falling to the left side, and you're helping yourself with the hands. If you have flexibility in your hips and it feels alright, you can also move the right foot a bit more across so your shin becomes more parallel to the short side of the mat. So feel what it does to your knee. If you have some painful sensation in your knee, go back to the sharp angle. So your right heel would be closer to the right inner side if your knee bothers you. And otherwise we're gonna once again tuck the back toes under, and we're gonna do the last attempt to move this back leg as far back as possible. And then adjusting everything, we're gonna walk on our fingertips to lift ourselves up, so it's back bend. Keep your abdominal muscles slightly engaged. And we're gonna hold this position for a few breaths. And in a few breaths, we're gonna move into the reclined variation of the pigeon. And when you stay and breathe, try to lift up your chest and relax your hips towards the ground. So two opposite movements. Hips are moving towards the ground, and the chest and the heart area moves forward and up, and the shoulders are moving backwards, relaxing. And for the reclined position, we're gonna bring the right hand in front of the right knee, left hand forward, and we walk to lower ourselves down on the elbows, or maybe all the way extending the arms forward. So you can also just rest your forehead on the folded arms, or you can go all the way down. And remember, this is just a variation of the pose. You don't need to push your body over the limits that are also temporary. Today this is your sensation of discomfort or limitation. Tomorrow it's going to move to a different place. All you need to do is to listen. And you take a few more breaths here. And it's a very intense pose. It's intense for everybody. For anyone who practiced 20 years, or 1 year, or even 1 day. And hips are considered to be storage of emotions, especially those that are not expressed. So we have a lot of baggage there. And we clear this baggage with deep breath, relaxing in that area. And then we slowly come out of this pose by moving our hands towards the hips. And we're gonna go into little balance here. So we're gonna tuck the left toes under, so our left knee lifts off the ground. So then we relax again, keeping the left toes tucked in and the left knee on the ground. Left hand, right knee. We press the left hand so we can lift our chest. We bring the right hand behind, maybe grabbing outside of the left foot. And then we're gonna lift the left knee and turn to look over our right shoulder. So everything is working, the left knee is lifting. And if it's not happening, just a pause. And then relaxing, placing the right hand down, and we're gonna, for a moment, lie down and shake our hips. So lying down on our belly and shaking our hips side to side. Taking maybe a couple of deep breaths, inhaling through the nose and letting go of any effort or sense of effort by exhaling through the mouth. And we have the left side to try. to practice. So the purpose of this practice is not to push your body over its limits. The purpose of this practice is to give us a sense that we are in control, what we sense and how we act based on it. Nobody is watching you. You are doing what is right for your health, for your strength, and for your confidence. So we're gonna tuck the back toes under, adjusting the position of the left shin as necessary to make sure that you don't have any pain in your left knee. And then working on your fingertips so you can have a little bit more lift in your chest, engaging the stomach muscles, lifting the chest up and staying in this pigeon pose for a few breaths. One more. And then moving into the reclined version. So moving on the fingertips forward, maybe resting on your elbows, just like this. And maybe extending the arms and resting your forehead on the floor or all the way on your folded arms. So remember, your hips are kind of centered, so you're not falling too much to the left side. You can check it yourself by moving your hips a bit more towards the right. The tendency here is to fall towards the left. And just experiment with the position of your hips to feel what is center. One more breath. And we're gonna come out, moving to our balance here. So we first tuck our back toes under, and then we place the right hand on top of the left knee, and we give ourselves a lift by pressing the right hand into the left knee. The left hand wraps around, maybe grabbing the outside of the right side, and then we lift the back leg, back knee, and start turning. A lot of things are happening, the belly muscles are working, your toes are working, and you continue breathing. And then on the exhale, we're going to release the back knee on the ground, and we're going to lie down on our belly. We're going to shake everything. And then we're going to flip around to lie down on our backs. And we're going to do windshield wipers before our final relaxation. So allow your knees to drop towards the right side and towards the left side, and allow your feet to be hip width or wider apart. And today, for our final relaxation, we will be practicing body scan. So we've been practicing several times a 61-point relaxation, and the body scan is different from 61-point relaxation, because in body scan we actually invite our attention to dwell on the sensations in the particular parts of the body. So I'm gonna guide you through this body scan, and all you need to do is to bring your attention to the points which I call into your mind, and sense what is happening there. And if you sense any tension there or any discomfort, you take a mental note, and also try to relax there by sending a breath or imagining breathing into this part. So let's extend our legs and find your Shavasana by having the legs slightly apart, bringing your shoulder blades closer together, palms facing up. You take 1 or 2 inhale, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Keeping your eyes closed. We're gonna go through the body scan, and we begin now. So bring your attention to your mouth. Sense the line where your upper lip touches the lower lip. Feel inside of your mouth. Feel your tongue. Feel your right cheek. Your left cheek. Feel your eyes. Feel the soft closing of your eyelids. Feel your forehead. The back of your head. Feel the pressure of your head at the point where it touches the ground. Feel your entire face. Your lips, your cheeks, your eyes, your ears. And slowly move your attention towards your shoulders. Feel your shoulders, the front of the shoulders, the back of your shoulders, your right arm and your left arm. Feel the front of your arms and the back of your arms where they touch the ground. Feel your chest, the right and left rib cage, the shoulder blades at the back, your belly, and feel your pelvis, feel your buttocks, feel your right hip and the left hip. Feel your right leg, your left leg, and now feel both of your legs. And now feel your entire body. Feel the vibration, the energetic field that your body is. Allow any sensations of your entire body stay in your awareness. And in a moment we're gonna allow our attention to move back to our breath. And keeping our eyes closed, we're gonna start moving our fingers and toes, bringing our legs together, giving ourselves a stretch, bringing our arms over the head, and in your own tempo, finding your way to lie down on your right and left side, without any rush. After a few breaths on your side, we're gonna help ourselves to come back into sitting position, finding our straight back, relaxed shoulders, feeling our body as an orb of energy, sensations. And we're gonna finish our session by we said at the beginning of the session, to our mind, and we're going to repeat this intention 3 times silently. Helping our mind to be focused, and staying positive, staying hopeful, expecting the best. And we finish by bringing the hands in front of the chest in Namaste, bowing our head over the hands in gratitude for finding time to practice. Namaste. Be well.